Go ahead, Ramon. You're on mute.
Hello? Hello? They get a little static. Hello?
Hey, go
Uh,
ahead and start. Your audio is clear.
yeah, you can hear me now?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Good. Good night to viewers. This is another alternate views, where we hit all the heavy topics. We continue to share every single one of our alternate views. Tonight, Kemar Stuart and yours truly. We can talk about that swap, that swap for climate. We can talk about that. We can dig heavy into it, and we will share all of our views. And we are going to have a conversation for sure. Right? Glad to be here another Thursday night, and we will start to hear the views of all the people who log in and tune in, and we are going to have a good time here tonight. Just want to double check. Kimar, you can hear me? Beautiful. Lovely. Good. That swap for climate. Mhm. So, Kimar, I don't know if you can hear me. You can hear me, Kimar?
Yes, I can hear you very clear.
Some reason. My volume. You can hear me, Kimar?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. Can you hear me?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Wait, you are muted.
I had touched this sweet spot. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Beautiful. Good. I had touched this sweet spot there. So that's why I usually get the sweet spot between the sound and the video. Right? Yeah, man. So we on to a heavy topic, Kimar, right?
Yes.
Recently we've seen movement from government in regards to a new agreement, new type of agreement. Well, not new. It's not an anomaly. It has happened before. So, you know, government making mention of how useful it will be, obviously, to deal with the climate crisis and so forth. I mean, so I know some viewers are in tune with what's going on, how it's going, how it will impact us and so forth. So here's where we share all of our alternate views. I want to start with an article here. I'm just going to pull up the article here. Um, one from one of dated the 23rd of October 2024. Right? Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Chantal Monroe Knight, has announced that Barbados has signed a historic debt for climate swap agreement. The agreement, which includes 40 million in grant resources, will be used to upgrade the South Coast sewage treatment plant and enhance the island's water security. Just yesterday, under the Green Climate Framework, we signed a historic debt for climate swap agreement, she said. This allows us up to 40 million to grant resources without incurring new debt to upgrade the South Coast sewage treatment plant and protect our water resources, which are increasingly threatened by the climate crisis. The minister also revealed that discussions are underway regarding a potential debt for social swap. So, lots of debt, lots of swaps based on what I seeing here in these particular articles. Obviously, I want the viewers to continue to tune in to the developments, this new agreement as it takes shape. Keep locked on, because this is going to definitely become a hot topic. There's a hot topic here tonight. So I know I saw the minister mention no new debt, Kemar. She mentioned no new debt. What are your thoughts? I know you have lots to say about that particular part of the article. You can hear me, Kemar? Sorry? Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, good evening to you, Ramon. Good evening to alternative viewers. Very happy to be here. This is the month of independence, November. We are approximately 9 days away from independence. So hence why you have one with blue and yellow, representing for. Um, so we can know that for the last couple of sessions we had on our dapper looking suit, but this is independence, so I don't have a blue, black, and yellow suit per se. Right? So this is just representative there of the month. And just a reminder that our Independence Day morning hike um, at Martins Bay. If you're interested, invite your friends and stuff. It's free to hike. But for all of the extra amenities, you just have a $30 cover to ensure that you have lots of food, lots of drink, lots of water, lots of everything that you need. Camaraderie, friendship, and everything. So it's just to celebrate uh, our month. Barbados' month for blue, black, and yellow. I think that's something we should be proud of, because at the rate that some are going, Independence Day is going to be replaced with Republic Day, right? So celebrate while you can and keep it alive as you can. But good night to all of the other alternate viewers on the live. Good night to Nigel, who's tuned in tonight. Good night to Sir Alfred, Sirlene, Tamika, Dorio, Patrick, Marcia, Square 4, hoping she comes on, Christopher Harris. He's saying good evening, and he's looking forward to this one. So thank you very much, Christopher. We hope to see Sheepdog on tonight, Tehran Nurse, Dale Worrell, and all the other persons from St. John. Looking forward to seeing you on the show, having some good discussion. Joseph Kadagan, who used to ask some very good questions. So let's jump right into the topic, Ramon. A definition swap. What really is a definition swap? I want to read a definition that was forwarded to me by an economist. I want to read the definition from the economist. So it says here that the mechanisms available for the management of a country's sovereign debt are detailed in textbooks on international finance and risk management of financial institutions. And the options include what we call a debt buyback or like a debt swap, right? So a debt swap is basically a debt buyback, meaning that if you are $600 million in debt, you are going to borrow money to pay off that $600 million up front, right? But remember, we say we are borrowing 600 million to clear off debt they're already in. So that means you're going to owe whoever you bought, whoever you loaned you the money to pay down that debt, right? So the important thing about this is when you do a debt swap, the idea is to exchange higher debt costs, meaning interest, for a lower debt cost. So if the interest payments or the percentage payments on your interest is, say for example, 8%, the idea of buying the debt swap is that you're not able to cut the interest rate and the new debt will drop from 8 to, say for example, 5 or 4 or 3%, depending on the rate that you negotiate with the new creditor. So it can be said that you would achieve a level of savings when you do a debt swap, right? Now, the savings that you get will happen over time. It won't happen. You won't have money up front in your hand, right? Because remember, you're paying or you pay interest on debt, Ramon, over a period of time, right? So you will save the money over time. So you're saving the money just by doing the swap, and you got all of this money in hand. It don't work that way, right? So if you listen to the officials of Barbados, they're saying that they're using these savings. They're using the savings on the debt swap to go and borrow additional resources to upgrade the plant, right? To upgrade this subcoast sewage plant, which is basically a tertiary level plant, which is basically cleaning shit out of water, right? Cleaning shit out of the water, the toilet paper and the other hard stuff, just taking it out and putting that water back into the drinking water aquifers, right? And we're going to prove that tonight with pieces of legislation that we're going to discuss, namely the Water Reuse Act, right? The Water Reuse Act. So I want to encourage all the alternate viewers to focus on that. I'm going to put it in the comments. The Water Reuse Act. This was passed in Barbados in one go. One go, Ramon. Now usually bills take a long time to pass in the House. This Water Reuse Act was passed in one day, both in Senate and in the House. Boom. And one go. So Alfred is saying that it sounds like refinancing. That exactly is what it is. Refinancing debt. And yeah. So to sum up quickly what I said, so person understand what exactly is the debt swap. The debt swap is basically swapping out higher cost debt for lower cost debt, which gives you the ability to save the difference in interest. Right? But remember, you don't have the interest up front. The interest will be saved along the years, right? So that's the gist of it. Now I want to put up something on the screen, Ramon. But in the meantime, I do that. You could make your comments, please.
Yeah, it sounds like that. On top of that, I read an article here and I saw the word debt about 20, 30 times. Kemar. So it is really. I know sometimes in some cases you have to borrow obviously to get things done, but from the IMF and all other sources that Barbados continue to borrow from. And based on the IMF's report, we were heading in a decent trajectory, but we're based on their report. So you come now, you move from there now. You seem to be doing well where that is concerned, and you move on to other things. And I heard the minister then mention that for social, that sought for social, um, something social or something. I saw her make mention of that. So that's another thing too as well too we gotta look at. So we are getting into copious amount of them. This we would have actually done one of these deals back in 2022, and that was supposed to obviously deal with the challenges for 15 years. If my math is mathing, I mean, that's a long way to go. It's only from 2022 to 2024. It's 2 years. So it's supposed to deal with challenges over the next 15, or put somebody kitty for the next 15 years of challenges regarding this climate situation. And there's only 2 years in. So the question is, where has the money gone that we have today? Do another one of these deals? That's a question, that I think the viewers want to know. Kemar probably has the answers, and I want to know too myself. Where the money go? So I see you would have put up something here, Kemar. I think you'll be in a position now to play. You're in a position to play. Let us discuss that. But those are my thoughts.
Right.
Okay, Kemar is about to put up a video now, and we'll have a watch, and then we will discuss it.
Not a video. This was an article.
There's not a video. Okay, no problem. You get some.
Yeah, I try to work on this feedback.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's on my side now.
Right, this is me.
All right. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Any better now?
Yes, that's much better.
Right. So this is the Prime Minister in Parliament yesterday. Yesterday, Tuesday, sorry. And it says that the Prime Minister on Tuesday defended a groundbreaking debt for climate swap as a global first that will finance $240 million worth of upgrades to critical infrastructure, including the South Coast sewage treatment plant, without increasing the national debt. She described the initiative to lawmakers in the House as a transformative solution to tackle climate resilience and modernize infrastructure. And the same debt we're going to pay this year, next year, 2026, is the same debt that will be paid. The difference is that on the other side of the balance sheet, you're going to have an asset that is now a tertiary treatment plant that changes what was the situation for the last few decades. So the Prime Minister stressed that the initiative marked a significant first in global climate finance, and this is the first debt of a climate swap that will get back a capital sum up front to build a project up front. With what is here is the ability to repurpose a debt in a way that not only meets our obligations but provides immediate financing for critical infrastructure. The Prime Minister outlined additional projects under the deal, including the installation of a pipeline and a 7 megawatt solar energy system with battery source storage and upgrades to the water infrastructure. Right? So that is what was said by the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister further noted that the deal had garnered international recognition with financial leaders from the IMF, the European Investment Bank, and the Inter-American Development Bank, the IADB, right? Now, I would have argued that you don't usually have upfront payments in regards to a debt swap, right? Now, the Prime Minister said in her presentation that we are going to receive an upfront sum for this particular debt swap,
Yeah.
right? So, explain to me, how are you buying back debt, right? That's paid out to the government's coffers. You're buying back this debt to pay a cheaper interest rate, right? You're paying a cheaper interest rate over time. So explain to me, how exactly are you not going to front load that where you get an upfront payment? The upfront payment will have to be coming in the form of a loan.
That is correct, Kemar. Spot on. Spot on. Spot on. I was just about to answer about the savings. You mentioned initially that it's over the savings usually come over a period of time, but I would have read that you're getting the payment, the savings up front. You understand? So the question remains. I think the viewers too, once they're following, the question remains: the money, isn't it in a form of a loan? Would it be in the form of a loan? That's the question that I am asking. I think a lot of the viewers are asking as well too. Must be.
Yeah. Well, I am going to put something on the screen, which is the resolution that was passed in Parliament. And let's read that resolution, Ramon, and maybe we could get a better understanding of this new potential loan that Barbados is getting. Because basically that's what it is, a loan to upgrade its, of course, sewage plant to a tertiary level plant.
So the question is, if it's once it's a loan, is it that new debt? That's the question.
Well, we need to ask our genius who say that it is not increasing national debt. But we do our own reading to find out.
Of course.
So this resolution was passed, put on the table. What seems to be the 4th of November 2024, whereas by virtue of Section 2 of the Special Loans Act, Cap 105, the government is authorized from time to time to borrow from another government, any bank or corporation or other institutions in sum not exceeding the aggregate of $2.5 billion. Right, this is just part of the resolution. So it says here that whereas the government considers it necessary to borrow the sum of $600 million from CIBC Bank, Scotia Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada via a sustainability-linked loan syndicated facility arranged by CIBC First Caribbean. Right. Now, the proceeds of which should be used to buy back an approximate equivalent amount in high costs of government debt and Barbados government debt. So you see that the government is borrowing $600 million from 3 banks: CIBC First Caribbean, Scotia Bank, and the Royal Bank of Canada. So
you said the word you said the word borrowing, right? That's correct.
Yeah, it says whereas the government considers it necessary to borrow the sum of $600 million from these 3 banks. Right? And the proceeds, the $600 million, will be used to buy back an approximate equivalent amount in high cost government debt, right?
Yeah.
So the government is buying back approximately $600 million of its own debt
Okay.
from these three banks.
Okay. So you're borrowing from the three banks, correct?
Yes, yes,
Right. To buy back the equivalent. That's correct.
yes, of Barbadian denominated debt,
Okay.
right? So when you borrow that money, you buy that debt. You're really buying the debt to lower the interest cost.
Correct.
But the government now has transferred ownership of the debt that the government would owe these three banks, Scotiabank, Royal Bank, and First Caribbean,
That is
because
correct.
it clearly said you're seeking to borrow the money from these three banks.
That is correct. That is correct. And I want you to repeat. I think the viewers want to hear that again. Summarize that again, Kemar, please.
Right. So basically, the government is borrowing $600 million from three banks: First Caribbean, Scotiabank, and the Royal Bank of Canada. A loan, and this loan goes to buying up debt that the government of Barbados owns, right? So we are indebted 600 million. We're gonna borrow from Scotiabank and those people, and we're gonna buy up $600 million of Barbados' government debt to give the government of Barbados the leeway in terms of saving the amount of interest that they have to be paying out on the debt that they already own and that they're servicing right now. Right? So again, when you borrow this money from Scotiabank and those places, it is a loan. Right? It's not a gift. You can clearly see the resolution that was passed in Parliament says, whereas the sum of $600 million on the score borrowed, right? Borrow. You know the difference between borrow and lend.
That is why I told you to obviously tune into that word there, right? Because I thought I was missing something, and I'm sure some of the viewers thought they were missing something too when it was said that is no new debt. So I'm really, and I think the viewers as well too, they want to know how is this not new debt. I mean that's what they're asking. Kemar. You know, that's what they're asking. That's what I'm sure a lot of people in Barbados asking. The people who are tuned in and the people who don't, blow over and look over all these fancy words. They don't want to hear all the fancy words. Kemar. They just want to know who gonna pay back. That's what, how we can get paid back. That's what they want to know. That's what they want to know. That's what a lot of the viewers want to know. That's what the people on the streets want.
We pay back through tax collection. We pay back through additional borrowing. We pay back through cuts in government expenditure to channel the cuts and the revenue from the cuts into paying interest. Right? So that's right. That's how it's paid back. No. Again, as we say, this $600 million will be used to buy back high cost government debt of Barbados. And we could basically see where it was, how it was approved. Now let us go into some more details here.
Yep.
Right. So it says that the lenders to the government of Barbados, as we can clearly see, the First Caribbean Bank is the arranger of this loan, right? In partnership with the two other banks.
Yeah.
So these are the final details of the loan, right? So it says that this loan is approximately 3.25% per year, right? 3.25%. which the government will be paying back on the loan. Right, and you can see more further details here as to okay. So the terms, I have the exact terms and conditions here. So this loan, right, is a 20-year loan. A 20-year loan. So we are in 2024. So this loan will approximately be paid off in 2044. So Ramon, if you had a child today, right? Right, if you had a loan today, right? Let me talk a loan. If you had a child today, right, and your child grows in about 19, 20 years, your child is a big man and working, and that's when the government of Barbados will not be paying off this loan. Right? So long loans or long maturity dates, lower interest rate costs is what the government is angling at. But as we know, lower interest rates is only a myth because interest rates jump on Barbados from 1% to 4% because of a jump in international interest rates, and we couldn't protect ourselves from that. So what happens when there's another global shock and interest rates jump globally again? Then obviously the interest rates on these loans will go up, the repayments on these loans will go up, and Barbados will be forced deeper and deeper into that trap, right? And more, let's be frank, you're borrowing $600 million to build a tertiary level sewage treatment plant to clean shit out of water and put it in people's clean water aquifers to drink. That don't make any sense to me, right? So it's not like it's a project that really helps the country, right? This project has some serious negative effects attached to it, right? Nobody on earth, and I will say knowingly, if I know that you or this water that I'm drinking came directly from toilet water, I would never feel comfortable with that, right? But here you have it, the public officials in Barbados bragging and boasting that they are borrowing $600 million to build a plant to clean shit out of water and give people to drink. That is not something you should be bragging about, in my opinion, of course. Right?
It all sounds like feces to me, if you ask me, Kemar. You know, I we are really dealing in a lot of a plethora of debt here, Kemar. We continue. When will it end? You know, when will it end, Kemar? You know, different from different entities we borrowing. You know, I mean, agreed. I think debt is needed to obviously manage the country to a certain extent, but this is taking it to, there's so many different sources, so many different people that we actually owe money to, you know, and we continue to find different ways, you know. We went to we have gone to the IMF, and now, you know, it's we're finding different ways to put our hand on more debt and putting us into more financial and economic holes than you could even imagine. And not only doing it for this generation, but you can see those loans are long term. So, you know, you're going all the way down to 2040 something, 30 something, you know. So I am extremely concerned. And I know the viewers are concerned. I know we laugh and we smile, and I know why you're smiling, Kemar, but this is not a matter of smile. You're not smiling about that. But this is really not a matter to smile about. because we can be in some serious trouble if we continue along this path. There's no doubt about it. And we really got to consider what we're really doing here, Kemar. And until obviously I get some answers to the questions posed initially, how can this not be new debt? I don't see no reason for us not to have a challenge or have issues with this. Now I can read an article here, and this is extremely bipartisan as usual, right? Okay, they said more meaningfully, right? And this is the debt swap. This is the debt swap, and so forth, right? More meaningfully. The question is asked: would it be better if the borrower and lender countries negotiate a swap more directly? This could be structured closer to what the name debt procurement implies, with an incentive, right? So they're talking here about obviously having the countries negotiate the swap more directly instead of all the obviously intermediaries and so forth, right? So that is one challenge, right? Obviously a communication issue, so it's best to obviously do it. The second issue is which countries these things usually target, right? Well, many argue that swaps should be focused primarily on countries that need debt relief. There are other better ways of providing this relief, like expanding and extending the World Bank supported debt service suspension initiative that can happen, and or even restructuring and reissuing debt for more successful future debt service, right? So there are some cons of this whole debt swap. And this is from a very independent article, independent author, of course. So the other ways that we can work around is that it seems that we're finding different sources to borrow from, and different reasons to put ourselves in a hole for now and for the future. And it gotta be a time where this cycle ends. Must be a time. Yeah.
I agree. I have here our Parliament's website. So this is the Water Reuse Act that I spoke to you about earlier. And this Water Reuse Act will speak to the management of the South Coast Sewage Plant and how the government intends to upgrade the plant to a tertiary level. And the Water Reuse Bill speaks directly to the management thereof of that plant. So after the government spends all of that money to build this plant, this bill thing. Now I told you about it, right?
Yeah.
You can see clearly the first reading of this bill. You can see where the cursor is at.
Yeah.
The first reading of the bill was May the 23rd, 2023. Right?
Yeah.
The second reading of the bill was the same day.
Yeah.
The bill went to committees on the same day. It was the reporting stage was the same day. Consideration of amendments was the same day, and the legislation was passed on the same exact day. Right? The Senate, the day after, which is the 24th, it was placed a notice in the Senate on the 24th, and it was passed on the 24th. So within 2 days, this entire Water Reuse Act was passed in the Parliament of Barbados so quietly that there was no debate, no conversation, no joint select committee, no nothing. Everything just went through. Poof. Right? Just poof, straight through the Parliament. Now, for an important piece of legislation like this, which speaks directly to the health of the population, I would think that the government would have held town halls, you know, everything possible to bring the population up to scratch as it relates to this idea of building a tertiary level sewage treatment plant to be cleaning shit out of the water and putting it back in people's clean drinking water. Now, I made the allegation that the government wanted to put the water back in the aquifers. It was denied. Publicly, it was denied. They said that the water is set to help the farmers and do
Yes,
this and do that.
I was actually gonna make it. That's what they say, right? That is for agriculture. That's what they say, right?
That's what they told you.
Yes,
But
that is correct. Yes, that's what
we,
was said, right?
we do better than that, Ramon. We
That
do
is correct.
much better than that.
That is correct.
We actually going to read for ourselves what was passed in Parliament and not what was said by them.
That's correct.
Like we read what is on the paper and not what was said by them. Now let us look at the screen carefully. I want all the alternate viewers to look at this screen carefully because this speaks directly to the health of this nation and what
But
they intend to do
but
with
Kimar,
that.
I want you to talk hard and I want you to talk slowly, right? So that the viewers can hear, right? That's what I want you.
Yes,
And I want you to repeat it to when you finish.
yeah, like Dr. Umar 3 times.
Good. Yes.
Right. So it says here, this bill, the Water Reuse Act, would provide for the capture, collection, treatment, and reuse of wastewater for various purposes. So this bill would provide for the capture, collection, treatment, and reuse of wastewater for various purposes, right?
That's correct.
All right. These are the different parts of the legislation.
That was
But
speaking specifically to agriculture, by the way, right? When you read that, right? They said various purposes.
right, we're gonna get into the detail. So
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to go through the table of contents. We're going right down to read the bill of itself. Right? So it says in Barbados, a bill entitled or an act to provide for the capture, collection, and treatment and reuse of wastewater for various purposes. Enacted by the Parliament of Barbados as follows. So this act may be cited as the Water Reuse Act 2023. In this act, agriculture wastewater means excess water that runs off the field or other areas during surface irrigation or watering containing salt, nutrients, pesticides, herbicides, and other agricultural chemicals from the field or otherwise. Right? Excess rainwater that runs off of the field or other areas during surface irrigation or watering containing salts, nutrients, pesticides, herbicides, or other agricultural chemicals. Wastewater generated from the handling of crops and from food processing operations, usually with a high concentration of organic matter. And wastewater generated from caring for and slaughtering farm animals. Right? Approved farm means such farm as the minister may give approval for this act. So it says here now, black water. Like black water. Black water means wastewater that includes urine or human excreta with paper or both. Black water means wastewater that includes urine or human excreta with paper or both. You hear that, right?
Yeah.
Domestic wastewater means black water and gray water generated in a house or other dwelling place. Right? All right. So we come down. So you have that definition for black water. You hear what it says: urine or human excreta, which is stool, basically. Right?
Yeah.
So let us come down here. Look at the definition for gray water. Means generated from a kitchen sink, a sink, a shower, a bathtub, or wash basin, or from the laundry in a house or other dwelling place, an office or hotel or similar building. Right?
That's correct.
Industrial wastewater means water containing toxic or non-toxic chemical compounds or biological matter generated in air manufacturing or industrial process as a means of cooling down during the production process, and later separated are office buildings, shops, or commercial centers. And the minister responsible for this act is the Minister of Health. Right? Boom. Look at the definition for non-potable water. It means water which is not of a standard to be used as potable water. And potable water means water of a standard of treatment or quality which makes it suitable for domestic use or consumption or drinking water. Right? So potable water is drinking water, non-potable water means you can't drink that at all. Right? Now these definitions are very important. So when we get further in the legislation, it will tell you exactly what. Right? So it goes on to say here, number one. Let's come down to the important parts. Those parts there were telling you about having a permit to be able to do these things. Right? And remember, so it says here operation of a wastewater treatment plant and use of reclaimed water. Right? Now, I want everybody to like alternate views, share alternate views as wide as possible, because this information here now is very vital. And I want as many people on the live to have this information and to share this information far, far, far away. I know many of you.
I started to read this here now. All right, go ahead. This is a very gargantuan part here.
Right.
Kemar. Very
So that's why I pause. Yes, so that's why I pause, because this part here now is very important. Right? Remember, they said that it was not for drinking, that it was for agriculture.
That's correct.
Right? That is what they say. So it says here, types of wastewater for use in wastewater treatment plant. A permit holder may use the following types of wastewater to produce reclaimed water for the sale or other supply and use in accordance with this part. So it says here, agricultural wastewater, industrial wastewater, domestic wastewater, and surface runoff. Right? Now, you remember they gave us the definition for what's agricultural wastewater. They gave us the definition as to what industrial wastewater. And they gave us the definition as to what domestic wastewater. Domestic wastewater is a combination between black water and gray water. And what is black water? Inclusive of human excreta, human urine. What is gray water? Water from a kitchen sink, a basin, a bathtub, a shower. Right? So it says the person who has a permit may produce this water for the sale or supply and use.
The key word here is domestic. Domestic. Domestic is a big word there. Um,
Mhm.
as
So
imagine, as
let
imagine,
us
they noted
let us
initially
go
that
further
it
down.
exists for agriculture. So
Right?
yeah,
So it says here, use of reclaimed non-potable water. So we know the legislation says that non-potable water is water you can't drink, right?
that's correct.
So it says here, the reclaimed water that is water you can't drink may be used for flushing water, closets, cleaning outdoor surfaces, watering or irrigation, edible crops, household garden, ornamental plants or trees, and green spaces, cleaning animal pens and coops, flushing and cooling equipment, filling surface ponds or lakes. That is what the legislation says about non-potable water. At G, it clearly says here, right? Recharging the groundwater, right? Recharging the groundwater. So this $600 million that they are going to build this wastewater treatment plant, selling selling people domestic wastewater, right? You could clearly see, and they can bring it back up again, Ramon. You could see what it says there, G, recharging the groundwater. And who drinks the groundwater, right? And why would you be putting? Let me go back up, right? It says here use of reclaimed non-potable water, meaning this is water you cannot drink. They are legally saying that you can now put non-potable water you cannot drink, to recharge the groundwater. This is the water that we have to drink. So how sane are these people, right? How sane are these people to be putting non-potable water that you can't drink into people's clean water, drinking water, and into the aquifers, and then on the world stage bragging as though this is supposed to be some grand achievement. This is poison, right? This is poison. And I may have drunk some of this water and didn't know. But if I know you can't get me to drink it, right? So Ramon, I want to hear something from you on this because this is very shocking to say the least. This is what they want to take the money to do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my thing is right. Again, it's the amount of debt um, we currently have, the amount of debt that we continue to accumulate, continue to accumulate. Obviously, then for these type of purposes, right? Now, my question is, right? How about desalination? You know, how about desalination? That's the question I'm asking. Is it too expensive to carry on that type of um, operation? That's the question, and I can obviously uh, do further research where the desalination is concerned. I don't know why we are not pushing it the way that we should push it. Instead of obviously this type of arrangement. I don't know if it's cheaper where this type of arrangement is concerned. I believe that the viewers want to know, but there was once talk about desalination. Once talk about desalination in a serious way. Are the plants once we have desalination plants? Are they in operation? Are they running correctly? We have a lot of seawater around us. So those type of things we got like that because that's a lot of money um, to be paid back in a long period of time. So generations on top of generations will continue to pay back this debt. Um, so there must be a better way to obviously handle the water. As I mentioned, desalination is you can look at that. Lots of saline water around, a lot of seawater, and we gotta look at different ways, to deal with these things other than just going into that and finding new ways. It seems that we're searching and finding new ways to get ourselves into that. Is there an agenda? Uh, due to someone champion a particular agenda. That's the question they got answer as well too. Because there must be a reason we continue to pile that on top of that on top of that. I don't know if you were thinking. I don't know if you're thinking about the now and not thinking about the future. Again, I don't know that totally, but we want that. We want to obviously utilize that instrument when we are in their need to do so. But we continue to find different avenues, different sources to borrow from. Obviously for this type of water. Now, again, I'm not a scientist, right? I'm not a scientist, but in terms of and how pure, or in terms of how clean or how healthy the water is, obviously it can't be 100% clean after coming from that type of source. I can assure you. But again, I would continue to do my research where that's concerned. If any viewers can chime in terms of the difference in how clean, how pure that type of water is compared to getting water from other sources. Well, I would like you guys to do so and challenge us where that is concerned. Challenge us where it appears, and the government, as I will say again, they're finding different avenues and different sources, just searching. So be doing well with the IMF. So let's find different ways now, different avenues to put more debt on the people of market. So they say is a loan. Is a loan. And nobody ain't giving you nothing. Nobody's not. No one is giving you that money. You're gonna repay. Your generation gonna repay. We sit down, every single podcast, every single episode, we've been talking about that a lot, Kemar. And this is constant domino effect, this constant trail of that, and there must be better ways, right? And we can talk about them here, we can talk about them here. There gotta be better. There gotta be better ways. This ain't good enough. Kemar. And I saw how passionate you were about it, because it ain't good enough, Kemar. It ain't good enough, But this type of quality water as well too. Again, desalination. I would say desalination is the way to go. But again, we got to find better means and ways, for sure. Yeah.
Well, Ramon, you had some important questions there. We're going to touch on, especially desalination part. Yeah, there are plans on the table. We have two desalination plants in Barbados that I know of. One on Spring Garden, and one was set to be in St. Lucie. But the process of desalination, so the experts say, is very expensive and will be unsustainable to maintain over the long run for Barbados. Now, I would rather the salty water over the long term than to be drinking the shitty water, because life will get cut short at some point in time. Right? Um, in COVID, I know that Corvally has a system set up. You have two piping systems for the residents, whereas they would have the natural free flowing water, and then there's a water system called irrigation water. So the question would be asked, is this legislation giving the owners of these large estates like Corvally the legal permission? No, to put some of that irrigation water into the clean water. right? Because legally you can't right now. So for people who already have existing systems, is this legislation giving them permission now to go ahead and mix the two? We can answer that question ourselves. We read the legislation, right?
That's correct.
And the legislation clearly said the use of non-potable water will be set up to recharge the groundwater, right? In Sandy Lane, I think Sandy Lane has one of the same systems as well, the water plants and thing. So depending on what time of the day you pass Sandy Lane, there's usually this like a kind of a smell, kind of stench from the water that they use to, there's an after scent to the water that they use to do irrigation. Now, does the government of Barbados have the money to be constantly testing at this new sewage plant to ensure that this jobby water is clean for our people? No, things, as we know, things started very well in Barbados for the first week or the first 2 weeks or so. But after a month or two, everybody becomes doing cash, and these type of things become, um, you know, abuse, so you don't go care and that type of stuff. Now, this is my observation. We can't even get the water in St. Lucie clean, right?
You were peeping, Kemar. You were
We
peeping.
can,
You were
probably,
peeping, Kemar. It was just I just received a message here regarding what will happen with some of this money be used to deal with the issues the people of St. Lucie they're having with the water. That's the question, to deal with the pipes and so forth, or is just in terms of sewage and stuff like that. That's the question you should be asking, because
yeah,
I just saw a photo here as well too. In terms of the difference in the color of water from one parish to St. Lucie, to obviously the difference between St. Lucie's water and a particular parish. I wouldn't name the other parish, but it's a huge disparity. Right? I just received that, so it's just so coincidental, bro, that you just mentioned St. Lucie's water. But is that some of the money, or is that only, as I said, some of that money would be used to deal with, to help St. Lucie, or the water in St. Lucie, or it's just obviously to take that type of water with the urine and the waste and so forth, and turn it into usable water, or try to turn it into usable water. That's the question. Some of this, how much money is Kemar? It's six
but
hundred
it's still,
million. Was the amount
yeah.
600 million? Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the question.
No, I asked you that question about our ability to have this new phone technology uh, kept at a standard, because we know how things go in Barbados, right? We know how things go usually when it comes to keep of certain standards. And if we can maintain the water in St. Lucie, we can maintain the water for people who are attached to the Bormiston pumping station. So in St. John, a lot of people do not have steady running water every day. I live extremely close to Golden Ridge pumping station. So I actually live on the border of St. John, St. George, right? And I don't even get running water every day. This Sunday alone, the water was off from about 6 o'clock in the morning till almost night, right? So you get water basically 3 or 4 days out of the week, maximum. And then you still have to go and pay the full water bill, right? Now if you owe anything to run in the camera, cut it off. But you can't get water every day,
You
but you
mean
still got
you
to
mean
pay.
cut it off further?
Well,
You mean cut it off further, Kemar? Because
well, they're just taking me the 3 days again. They're just
of
taking me
course,
3 days again because you were never getting it the 7 days that you're paying for anyhow.
But I really sympathize with, and it is happening. This was actually happening for a long time ago. I worked with a young lady. She lived, she lives in St. John, and she continued to complain. But the one, this was say 2013. This was a long time ago. So you know, um, this has been a long time. Has been a long time. You know, and it's someone that we need to come in and then we need to deal with these particular issues, right? Deal with this. If more is 600 million, you know, deal with these issues. Deal with these issues. You know, deal with these issues. Um, need to be dealt with. Because I mean, I can only imagine. Cause you're right. You are a human being. You need water, you know, especially around summertime. I think we'll say hot. Huh? I really sympathize with people who they don't get an adequate supply of water when they need come. That's not easy. That ain't easy.
In
I
my
can obviously
opinion,
you can deal with Wi-Fi, you can deal with electricity, right? You can probably deal with that, but water that makes you miserable. You go, you know. I remember right after the storm, you know, I had to bathe in a bucket because obviously the water was off and we had something, and that was uncomfortable. That must be uncomfortable, you know. So water is a serious issue. Right? A serious issue. We gotta deal with it other ways. You know, we gotta deal with it other ways.
well, there are primary schools in St. John, and the part of St. George that does not have any water is where Arcade World is, and the closest primary school there is St. Jude's Primary School and Cuthbert Moore, right? So you have businesses in in these communities. You have elderly people in these communities, right? And you're turning off your water at least 4 days out of the week, from early at 6 o'clock in the morning. Not even a warning, or nothing, right? It's not a case where the water is being disrupted. The water is being turned off, right? The rain falls in St. George almost every day, to say the least, right? We have a big ocean out there, again, desalination, right? All of this, they like to talk about climate change and flood warnings and hurricanes and everything, but still, we have not built any rainwater dams to capture the rainwater runoff and the hurricane runoff to, you know, clean it and put it back into the aquifers. But we were going to get shit water to clean it to give it to the people, right? So you remember Flint, Michigan in the United States, right? Flint, Michigan in the United States when they poisoned off the water, and that was a serious health threat to the people of America. So are we having another Flint, Michigan and Barbados where they're already rationing water? I know people might think that this is not real, but I live it every day, right? Many of the people in these districts, I could give you these districts, cottages, any district attached to the Golden Ridge pumping station and to the Burmiston pumping station. Then there's the Hampton station over more closer to St. Philip, St. John side. And these people could tell you, Ramon, about the delivery of water coming to them, right? And then sometimes the water comes up still black and blue and brown and
I think we may have some technical difficulties. Kemar, camera, and so forth has frozen. We can soon get Kemar back online and cranking as well. Very soon. Very soon. He was actually in the middle of talking about uh, the people of St.
Ramon,
John's.
I
Yes,
am getting a bit of a sticking going on my screen.
yes, I can actually hear you, but in
I don't
terms
know
of
if your
seeing,
screen is fine.
all right, Okay, no problem. I was just telling obviously the audience that.
You could go ahead and speak. I can't see you, but go ahead.
No problem. You can hear me though, right?
Um,
You can hear
yeah,
me?
go ahead. Let me reboot my device. Cause my device, I don't know, probably this bug.
All right, no problem. No, I
So
was just saying that you were
bump me
just
out now. We get a little bit.
you can hear me? Kimar? All right, we can soon get Kimar back on.
Yeah, I
We're
can
having
hear you.
some
Go
technical
ahead. My
difficulties. For
device.
some reason I can't hear you, Kimar.
All right.
Yeah, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. I'm not too sure if the viewers can hear me.
You can hear me now.
I, I can't hear you. I can see you, but I
Now
can't hear you. I
go
can't
out
hear you.
and come back in. Go out and come back in.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Right. Go out and come back in.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Beautiful. Good. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Good.
Very good.
All right. Right. So all I was saying is that you were talking about the people of St. John, their experiences and so forth, where the water was concerned. I don't think you got the chance to
Right.
continue saying what you were saying. Right. Mhm.
Right. I was saying that the water challenges, which were going on for quite a while, obviously, because but you remember the guy who was the minister of water resources at the town hall meeting. He told the residents in St. John that their dry pipes may have a leak. Right. So these pumping stations around St. John, these water stations, like Bormiston pumping station, the Golden Ridge pumping station is not. Wherever this is the border of St. John and St. George, the Golden Ridge pumping station is right here on the border of St. John, St. George, right? And I just live just short of current. So you have communities which but I'm bound who we experience these issues together. So before where we had access to standpipes and used to see water tankers and stuff like that, you see no water tankers. Right? Luckily, there's still a standpipe close by, but it's not widely known. And many of the other communities they don't have standpipes, and they don't even send the water tankers in these places. So here you are having water 3 days a week, and you're paying the full price for it. Right? Meanwhile, there are communities that are further to the south and to the west and to the north, and they get running water every day. So this is not a reality that spreads right across Barbados. But I could for sure tell you about the upper parts of St. George. I could for sure tell you about St. John, and I could for sure tell you about St. Thomas and some parts of St. Joseph.
So with this
Right?
money be
Some parts in
used,
St. Joseph.
this money will be
No,
used to address all of these things, Kimar, the money board, or
how
is
much
it
money?
just to build, just to build this plant? I mean, you just listed a whole host of issues other and
You stick
outside
it.
of. You can hear me? Sorry? Actually, you are sticking. We're having some technical difficulties tonight for sure. No doubt about it. You can hear me, Kimar? You can
Yeah, I
hear
can
me,
hear you
Kimar?
now. Get we
Okay,
get
good.
we
Good,
get in some
good. We're having
trouble.
some issues. So and these things do happen, man. We still on the show. We
Yeah,
still doing our thing.
I can hear
Yeah.
it.
So you just listed a whole host of issues. And if you're looking at water security, etc., proper water, drinking water and stuff, you just listed a whole other set of issues other than this sewage plant that they want built. Kmart. So the 600 million, I mean, that's just to build and maintain this particular plant, or you're going to deal with all the other issues that we face, all the other challenges and so forth that we face in terms of the pumping stations and so forth. That's the question.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Come on.
Yes. You can hear me?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good. Yeah. We having some challenge tonight, but that's
Right.
so is life. So is life.
No,
Yeah.
this thing is sticking really bad.
Yeah, no problem. It's the Wi-Fi or
Yeah.
it's the Wi-Fi.
I guess
Okay.
this topic is a little bit.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Well,
That's
I don't necessarily know access to Wi-Fi per se.
okay.
I find usually when we trespass on specific conversations, these things happen.
Okay.
Um, so
I
I
mean,
know that other
we just,
persons,
as I said, we just
activists,
giving our views. We just as you continue to mention, this is a political show. We just
you
giving our
know.
and I'm sure that the viewers can have some stuff to say as well too, and I'm looking forward to their comments and so forth. Right? But I really wish that you know these other challenges could be addressed as well too. Other than the building, just borrowing the money that we can go pay back now for a long period of time. Uh, you know, to build a tertiary plant. Deal with these other issues as well too. You got St. Lucie, as you mentioned, the other regions, the other parishes and borders, etc., that they were having water issues for years. You should really deal with those as well too. Right?
No, yeah, me. Phone too. Come on. Hello.
Oh, tonight is
Come on.
you're stuck again. You're stuck again. Yeah, I don't know why.
You can hear me? I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Good. You ought to move it.
But this,
You ought to
like,
move
this
it.
thing is bumping me off the internet. I had to just jump out quickly to sign on in my to my phone.
Okay.
Where we reboot the system.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, let's just apologize to the audience for the break
Sure. For sure.
in
You know?
the discussion. We're having some serious challenges with the internet. So in the meantime, we could stall and take some comments from the audience.
Yes. We can do so.
Right. And move forward. So as I try to reboot my system, you can go ahead and engage the audience,
For sure.
and then we will move on from there.
We'll do so. We'll do so. Well, the audience or viewers, as you know, Kemar, we're having some issues, technical issues with our audio and video, but we can get that is sort of real quick, real quick and real soon. No worries. Right? It was hot topic, continue to be a really juicy topic, and we just share our alternative views every single time, every single Thursday. Right? We always look forward to hearing your views as well too. We're going to address the comments So for in a minute, once Kemar gets everything up and running, right, we will address your comments. And we can have a conversation as usual, man. We always gonna have a conversation, right? And I want you to continue to share your views all the time. You know, don't be afraid. Share your views. That's what we're here for, right? I never know. I mean, you know, we continue to learn each and everything, right? Every single Thursday night, this is what we do. So Kemar now he's going to furnish us with some comments, and we can have a conversation here tonight as usual. Yeah,
Yeah. So can you hear me clearly now? Are you hearing me now? You're muted. You're muted.
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Good,
So glad to be back up now. Um,
good.
yeah. So I want to acknowledge some of the viewers. Again, our apologies. You know how this internet stuff goes. That's why I am not necessarily a huge fan of going completely digital, because with digital infrastructure you have to have strong internet. So how does a country with piss poor internet service want to be at top of their game? You know, want to be a world player, want to be involved in all types of, you know, first class, first world country operations, and don't have fully functional internet. So Lime and Digicel need to get their act together as it relates to offering the people of Barbados proper internet. Because there's no way in this day and age that we should be paying so much money for internet, and it's always sticking, it's always rebooting, it is always loading, it is always buffering. Right? I would say next that my money will be buffering when it comes to paying the bill. Right? And then you see how fast we get proper internet in place. But as a country seeking to do business in this day and age, 2024, this internet, slow internet, this feels like dial up, Ramon. Right?
I remember that very well. I still can remember the song it made. And you actually speak on that, right? Um, to be successful at scale and mobilize significant capital, debt for climate swaps should probably focus on countries that are able to service their debt, and who, in exchange for some reduction slash forgiveness of the debt as an incentive, will be willing to redirect the debt service cash flow into mutually agreed use of proceeds from the swap. In this arrangement, target countries are likely to be the larger emerging market borrowers that are working toward ambitious climate action plans but need extra help. I can read that last part. I want to know if this currently fits the economic climate, no pun intended, right? Economic climate of Barbados, right? I can read it again,
Yeah.
right? To be successful at scale and mobilize significant capital, debt for climate swaps should probably focus on countries that are able to service their debt. Debt for climate swaps should focus on countries that are able to service their debt, and who, in exchange for some reduction, forgiveness of the debt as an incentive, will be willing to redirect the debt service cash flows into mutually agreed use of proceeds from the swap. In this arrangement, target countries are likely to be the larger emerging market borrowers. So, that is. Are we the target are really larger emerging market borrowers?
No,
Are we servicing our debt properly, Kemar?
well, at the moment, yeah, we're paying the debt at a very comfortable pace. Um, the high taxation, and so to be honest, the economy is stable to some extent. I
Yes.
won't I won't try to I won't try to say otherwise if I'm being honest. So we have a steady stream of debt payments, right? We have a steady stream of debt payments, and at this point, we could kind of afford to be paying, right? We're not in the total right as yet where we can't afford to pay. When we get to that point, you will definitely know, right? Because you would see a rationing, you would see greater food shortages, right? You would be missing specific items that you once got that you don't get anymore. Right? You will see the central bank coming up and saying certain things like there's a shortage of foreign exchange. You will see, right? You will see um, the commercial banks tighten up on your ability to use foreign exchange as a citizen. So you would definitely know that, you know, we are in a state that we cannot repay the debt. That point is coming, but it's not quite here as yet, if I'm
Boy, I
being
got knock
honest.
on wood there. I got knock on wood there, Kemar. But I hope it don't come, boy. To be honest with you, I hope it don't come, boy. I really got knock on wood there. Knock on wall. I got a wall here. I can knock on this wall here too. Just hope it don't come, bro. To be honest with you, boy. Things are
Yeah.
challenging as it is. People got bailed out of cups and buckets and all sorts of things as it stands. So I really don't want to see it any worse. To be honest with you. As we were going to the comments, so I mean, that was a little side note. They talked about um, large emerging countries, and I don't think that we are one of those players. So they net to swap. We would love to be there, but we having some challenges with even dealing with the ID cards. Like I keep mentioning the ID cards, getting that right. We continue to be hacked. I mean, I know that hacking is a thing that goes on around the world. But we want to we want to move a little faster than we are able to, really and truly. That's my take on it. We should take our time and
We have
time to get there.
wait, we have a global or globalist, I should say, as a prime minister. So if you have a globalist pushing globalist ideals, these type of globalist ideas will be basically put on the table for the country. Now, the question could be, is Barbados in a state that it could readily accept globalist ideals? So we are a small country seeking to participate on the international domain on par with the other world countries. And we are often heard complaining about having a fair and a level playing field for small countries in the midst of big countries. But any economic powerhouse will not level the playing field if you have the upper hand. That simply don't make any sense. It don't make any sense in business, and it certainly will not make sense for a country. Right? And as countries take on more business-like operations and move away from more socialist values, where the state will be providing support for the citizens without the idea or the ideal of chasing profit. Governments all around the world are restructuring their states to focus more on profit-oriented goals, right? Using state-owned enterprises to be profitable, that they can maintain themselves, and to be earning adequate revenue to pay into the state. Right? Now, that may sound good for a large industrial country who has manufacturing, agriculture, you know, um, and other services, other export type operations that they could scale and earn significant sums of foreign exchange in a very short space of time. Right? Barbados and other small states like us do not have that same capacity. Right? So we basically earn foreign exchange from tourism, but tourism does not give us a surplus on the books. So that means tourism don't make enough to support the country's appetite. International business is the same thing. It does not earn enough for Barbados to have a surplus. So we constantly borrow foreign exchange every year, right, as a chronic problem. So the rate of foreign exchange Barbados traditionally borrowed was approximately, just an estimation, of 200 to $250 million yearly we borrowed in foreign exchange, right? So that is something that we could have afforded, so we did it. But in this day and age, that borrowing permit has jumped from 250 million now to about 1 point something billion. So that significantly increased our borrowing appetite, along with the fact that tourism went through COVID and the earnings dropped, and people just not coming, right, people just not spending, the tourism earnings just not there. International business under pressure, so therefore the whole has gotten way the wrong because our foreign exchange earners continue to underperform, but the country's lifestyle is still there, right? So Barbados can't participate on a global scale with countries like China and those large industrial manufacturing countries, right? Right? And those large manufacturing countries that have a surplus of foreign exchange that they can lend other countries, have a surplus of foreign exchange that they could go anywhere in the world and do projects. Barbados don't have that. Barbados has to be a constant taker and borrowing money. So how can a country on the world stage borrowing money could gain any serious economic respect on a global level if every time you come to a global meeting, your pot and your hat is in your hand stretched out to borrow money? It just don't happen when other countries, large countries, right, are there to lend money. Right? So they usually say the lender makes the rules. So I would like the leadership of Barbados to recognize that you are borrowing on the international state. So you can borrow the people's money at these absurd rates and then go there and borrow money from other people to buy back the debt at a cheaper rate. And then when you do that, then you go back and you borrow more money from somebody else to buy back that debt now at another cheaper rate. Right? So we have a mismatch in terms of values, right? A globalist leader pushing globalist values on a country that is not necessarily a globalist country or
You
is
gotta
accustomed to globalist, right, or is
you
not
gotta
accustomed to
ask
globalist thought or anything
yeah, really,
that don't make sense to me.
you gotta start to ask the question, Kemar, in whose interests these things are being done, Barbados, or to accommodate the the demands of the same said global environment? That's the question. Because we go and ask questions, with the guy on the road, on the streets, or the gully, wherever you go and ask questions. They would talk just like you. They would talk just like myself. I read an article there, with the prime minister. She was talking, and she mentioned climate about a good number of times. It reminded me of the superhero cartoon Captain Planet. I don't know, Kemar, if you ever watched Captain Planet. It was one of these old cartoons where the superhero was one who he usually went up against people who were polluting and stuff like that. It reminds me of the superhero Captain Planet. And he would call on, I think, the resources of the earth to deal with these, the pollution and everything. So I heard climate crisis in the article. I saw climate crisis in the article a lot of times, and it just reminded me of the cartoon Captain Planet. When you get a chance, you can go on YouTube and watch the cartoon Captain Planet.
Water! Go Planet! By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet! Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. He's our powers magnified, and he's fighting on the planet. Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. Gonna help him put us under. Bad guys who like to do plunder.
You'll pay for this, Captain Planet.
We're the Planeteers. You can be one too. No, saving our planet is the thing to do. Looting and polluting is not the way. You're a Captain Planet, as to say. The power is yours.
That's the Prime Minister, Wilfred Abrams, Ryan Sean, Chad, Mark. Right, you kind of tears. Yeah, but yes, you're there.
We're speaking a lot, boy, Kemar, buddy.
Ramon, is there? Are you? Yes,
I'm
Ramon,
here.
is there? Are you?
I'm here, man. For sure, I'm here. Kemar.
Yes, where you here? Right, right. Those are the Prime Minister and the ministers, Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Yes, but seriously, I am of the opinion, right, that I heard a speech in Parliament. Right, I heard a speech in Parliament that the former Minister of Water Resources, right, the former Minister of Water Resources, Abrahams, right? This is Abrahams again, who told the people in St. John that their dry pipes may have a leak. Right? Now, Abraham said when he was pressured to answer the question on if sewage is flowing in the sea, right? If this sewage is flowing in the sea, Abraham's got up and said in Parliament that pumping sewage in the sea has been the practice of every government. Right? Pumping sewage has been the practice of every government. Now, let me say this. There was never a sewage outfall at Worthing, Vermont, right? This is in Graham Hall Swamp over there by what's the bar called Sticks Mix, Worthing Beach, right? There was never a sewage outfall at that point, right?
Yeah.
Now we had the sewage problem in 2018, or in the lead up to 2018. It affected that area on the Worthing Beach. However, yes. Now, again, Abraham said we pump sewage in this thing. No, I have never heard of an instance where we had a sewage problem to this magnitude in Barbados, right? And let me say this. I stand on good authority to say that sabotage, right, was sabotage because when they clean the sewage plant, they pull out bed sheets, towels, fridge store. If you do a house, you could get an entire house furnished from the sewage plant when they cleaned it, right? The amount of debris and things that were blocking up the inside, right? So here's the recommendation of the government. Just cure the sewage problem in 2018. The government decided, well, we can build. Well, let me change that. Let me go backwards first. Under the Minister of Water Resources, David Esway, his solutions to the problem were injection wells, dig wells, and to also build an outfall, right? Sewage outfall. Now, all of the engineers, including Granville Phillips, say that the best solution to the problem as an engineer would be to pump the sewage out to the sea, right? That is what all of the engineers say. The government went ahead to try the injection wells, and then the government sought permission from the coastal zone unit to, have the outfall. This was under David Esway. Fast forward to Abraham's, this is the guy again that told the people that the dry pipes have been leaking. This Abraham's, I don't know, we got permission so quick, but Abraham's commissioned a sewage outfall, a temporary sewage outfall, right? And for those persons who don't know what an outfall is, it's just a network of pipes that run out to the sea, right? So the sewage was pumped through this outfall from Worthing Green Hall out to the sea. And for sure, you know that where they pump the sewage is like a desert. They kill all the reefs, they destroy it. It was just a disaster, right? Again, you didn't hear no protests, you didn't hear nothing in it. It was fine. The brag, the boss, we get the sewage off the street, we did this, we did that, whatever. All right. We don't know how much the repairs to that first temporary outfall cost, right, Ramon? Fast forward a couple of years later, the government borrowed $84 million from the CDB to build a permanent sewage outfall, which would have taken sewage in a permanent way, right? In a permanent way, and do the same thing, more resilient. It would have been buried under the sea, according to the experts, etc. They borrow the money, the 84 million, to borrow it comfortable from the CDB. Today, we still don't have a permanent outfall. We still got a temporary outfall, right? We still have a temporary outfall, but the borrow the 84 million, Abrahams, who was the minister? For Abrams, who was the minister of water resources, he was the man put in place to procure this outfall, right? And he was the minister of water resources, right? So again, you borrow 84 million, still no permanent outfall, you still got a temporary one, right? And Ramon, I attacked the government on it, and then the government came out and said that they canceled the loan from CDB to build the permanent outfall. This is the first time I ever heard in my life that the government of Barbados cancel a loan. Like, cancel a loan. Now, I see all that to say, right, Ramon?
Wait, before you go on there, how do you cancel a loan?
You're supposed to write to the institution indicating that you don't wish to pursue.
So
no longer
go
pursue.
through, okay, because you got something that they went through with it and started to pay back the loan or something like that. No?
Yes, they went through with it. And along the way, right, after 2 or 3 disbursement periods, they then indicated that they canceled the loan at that point.
So the disbursement period, or there were disbursements, separate disbursements of the CM64.
Based on the agreements, there should have been disbursements.
Okay.
Okay. It should have been disbursements, but again, the transparency was not there to determine if the disbursements were paid out or not. They just said that they cancel it, but they cancel it long after the start of the disbursement periods. Right? Now, the Abrams, right, got a parliament and said that all governments do this thing. Ramon, as far as I know, the outfall that was put in place at South Coast Sewage in Christchurch South, right? That was only put there in 2018. Right? So how an outfall that was put there in 2018 could mean that all governments was pumping sewage in the sea? Right? How many governments were in power since 2018?
So my question: there's another way to pump. There's another way to pump the sewage into the water. Kemar? That's the question you got.
No.
All right.
No.
There's the answer, bro.
He said it. There's Abraham. He said it.
There's the answer. If there's no other way to pump sewage into the sea, and that particular pumping device or apparatus only came about in 2018. Well, there's the answer. I guess if viewers are very intelligent people, you're intelligent, I am intelligent, the viewers are intelligent. So, I don't think you got still less where that's concerned. That's that.
So let me say this. There was an outfall at Needham's Point, right? Needham's Point, where the Hilton Hotel was located, whatever. And only 5% of the population of Barbados are actually attached to a sewage plant. So when the Prime Minister got up to speak in Parliament, she said that the reason they were going to borrow this money to build this tertiary level plant to treat this sewage was because they want to cure the problem of pumping the sewage out to the sea. That's what they said, that they want to cure it. Now, I would think that one of the first cures would have been to build the same permanent outfall that they bought $84 million for, and it gave us the impression that it built it, but only because Hurricane Beryl came, it's how we found out that we also had a temporary outfall after you all went and bought all this money. So you're borrowing money after money after money for the same exact project. You ain't doing the actual work, but you're spending the money.
Well, Kimarla, I often ask this question, right? No, I often say this, right? if we were to borrow, or the government was actually to borrow money, right, and use the money for what the purpose in which you would have borrowed it for in the first place, I think, we would be in a better position. At least, Kemar, even if we're borrowing this copious amount of money, use the money that you bought, that the reason that you borrowed the money in the first place, use it for that means, and I think that, we will be better off generally. And I know the viewers would agree with me as well. So if you're borrowing the money, you already borrowing the money. Sometimes borrowing, you have to borrow the money, but use it for its purpose. Use it for its purpose. Are you using the money you borrowed that you borrowed to say build a school? You taking that money there and repaying a debt? Are you repaying a debt that you would have had to repay for obviously for another purpose as well, right? So seem to taking borrowed money to repay debt that you borrowed for another purpose, right? So if you use the money, or use the money for the purpose in which you would have initially borrowed the money for, I think we've been better start, to be honest with you. I think that will work out better. Yeah.
Right. Now, Pedro Gemma's asking an important question here. If the sewage plant at Chapman Lane doesn't go to sea. To be honest, I do not know what or how the Bridgetown plant functions in terms of a sewage outfall. There is very little information provided on the operations of the plant, and I never toured the plant or any of the plants to see it in action. And again, there's not much rhetoric available on it. So that's another.
Coming out of these discussions about it, I seen a lack of transparency, Kemar, in a serious way. There's a lot of information that's not out there about these different outfalls and the permanent, temporary plants and so forth. It seems so, Kemar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, remember, I made the point earlier about can we manage this new type of operation of cleaning human excreta and urine out of water and giving it back to people to drink, right? I asked that question. And I asked that question specifically because I want to show you something here about Barbados. Now, again, I have to go back to Abrahams again, as he was the former Minister of Water Resources. And this article says no equal light in Barbados' water supply, right? Equal light is stool, basically. So it says here that the Minister of Energy and Water Resources, Abrahams, has firmly denounced the circulation of social media messages claiming that there is E. coli or stool in the water supply in the north of the island. Speaking during a press conference, Abrahams stressed that there was a dangerous misrepresentation and an untruth. I explained that due to reports of the discolored water in some of the northern parishes, that the Water Authority and the Ministry of Health has undertaken stepped up testing. And he said that those tests revealed that there was a reduced level of residual chlorine in the system. I added that the Water Authority had taken measures to make the necessary adjustments which have seen the increase in residual chlorine levels. And he urged persons wishing to get information from the BWA about their systems or any other issues being experienced to use official channels. That is what he said, right, Ramon? That is what Abraham said in terms he denied a social media post going around that there was high levels of E. coli or stool in the water. Now, if people are belling the cat saying that there was high levels of E. coli in the water, imagine now when we actually go to selling this water on the market. what is going to happen? So when there's a situation where there's actual stool-line, urine, and all types of things in the water, do you really believe or trust that the government will actually handle this tertiary level plant in a very serious way?
One would say that plan is to help eliminate those levels of economic. No, I go back to what you were talking about, the excerpt there that you read, right? In terms of the person who would have claimed that there was economic, they did their own tests as well. So that's the question. You're aware of whether they would have done their own tests to substantiate their claims?
No. Well, this is the thing. Usually, when these things are leaked, they are from inside sources. Like,
Inside
you know,
sources.
the engineers that who cannot come to the public to speak
That's true.
openly, so they will leak information to make the public aware of what's actually happening. Now, what's very interesting about the denial from Abrams is that when information gets out there, there seems to be a habit to try to suppress facts on these type of projects. Now, remember, Ramon, I said to you that I actually attacked the government in a very serious way about this outfall, right? And this was the government's response, right? This was the government's response. Right? Government refutes misleading claims about sewage system. So remember, we heard Abrams denying it about equally in the water. So when they attack the government now on the $84 million at the sewage, right? They put up this post saying government refutes misleading claims, right? Misleading claims. So let's go in and debunk this myth or these myths. So it says here that the government of Barbados is refuting what it says are false and misleading claims in a recent newspaper article calling for it to give more details on the outfall for the South Coast Sewage Project. And it states assertions regarding the cause of the temporary sewage outfall and the status of the proposed permanent outfall. And they claim that it was inaccurate and misleading. So, in seeking to bring clarity, the government said that the total cost of the project was said to be $7.5 million. Now, and not $84 million. Nobody ever said that the project costed $84 million, Ramon. Right? We said that they borrowed $84 million for it. But you know how the government rules. So they say that the government also clarified that the loan application to the CDB for a permanent South Coast outfall was indeed approved in January 2020. However, due to various factors, including the high cost of the bid, it decided to explore alternate options. And all efforts to pursue the loan ceased later that year. And the bank was officially notified on October the 2nd, 2020 to cancel the loan. Ramon, it clearly says here that the loan was approved in January 2020, but they took all down to October to cancel that loan for $84 million, right? But it says here that they were correcting this thing about that the total repairs cost 84. That's rubbish, and nobody ever said that, right? So let me just say this to the person also that has been sending hate mail to my house, because you know they continue to send these foolish letters to my house with their foolish threats and everything, right? And the last threat that I got at my house was a copy of this particular article, right? Trying to disavow and downplay my assertions about this particular issue. So I hope the person is listening so that when you send the next letter, right, you would include some of the facts and the truth knowing this one when you try to attack. No, it says here that the government assured it remains committed to addressing the challenges proposed by the South Coast sewage system, right? I said that the government categorically refutes the false and misleading claims made by Mr. Kemar Stuart in his article. Let me calm down. 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 Okay, it says here. The public is urged to rely on official government sources for accurate information on such matters. Now, Ramon, it took me writing this article in the news to draw a response for the government after all of these years, right? We found out in 2024 that a loan was cancelled in 2020. What is that? Hey, we found out that $84 million worth of loans was cancelled in 2020, almost a year later after the initial approval date, right? We know that no. We know that no. We never knew that before, right? What they did know is that they went back again to do more repairs. And this is when Mr. Duguid went down there now to do these repairs on this temporary outfall at the South Coast Sewage project. And we never got the cost for that because Duguid said that he sent in the contractors to do the work, but he's not sure of the total cost that the contractors would basically let them know after they've done the work how much they got for them. This is the taxpayers' money, you know. Right? So how could you procure a contract for a contractor, send in the contractor to do the work, and you don't know the cost of the work? That makes no sense to me. But
there must be estimates. I mean, there must be paperwork, some type of estimates before. Obviously, there must be at least an estimated cost. Things aren't done like that normally. So you need to have an estimate, even if in terms of repairs to a vehicle, you gotta have it. And a vehicle is the far less quite to repairs, which cost millions of dollars probably. You know, so there must have been estimates at least. You need estimates initially, so there must have been an estimated cost. Kemar. This is not you know, you ain't selling bread. You're not selling bread, Kemar. There must be an estimate.
It's not bread shop.
Yeah, it's not bread
So
shop. You're selling bread.
They claim to spend $7 million at first to build it. Then as you said, as you clearly saw in the article, they said yes, they borrowed 84. Right? Yes, they borrowed $84 million, right? And then they came back again and said that they did more repairs, but they don't know the cost. So that is 3 sets of money that was spent on the same problem, and it is no better, right? But still, they will take the time to write crap in the paper telling people, but the public is urged to rely on official government sources for accurate information on such matters. And they're trying to deny the truth that I told about them, right? So I hope we saw the commonality. This is the one they denied it in 2024 when they spoke to me, right? And again, this now is Abraham's, who said he urged persons wishing to get information to use official channels. So this appears to me that the coward, Ramon, the coward that wrote this, right? The coward that wrote this response, they didn't put anybody's name on it. They just put that the government of Barbados categorically refutes false and misleading claims. And I wrote in the paper and I specifically asked Wilford Abrams to tell us about the outfall as he was the minister, but I got a generic response. But you can clearly see the similarities that they have in here. Look, experience, you know, any issues being experienced, use official channels for information. That was 2019, and in 2024 when they attacked them, they came back now with the same thing again. Ramon, use official sources, but for anybody who won't believe those official sources over the facts that were put in your face, actual documents that you can read, right? Actual documents that you can read, facts that you can quote, and you deny the facts to go and believe people who constantly lie to you 24, 7 days a week. Well, I'll try my best with you. You understand? I tried my best. But that is the issue that we are facing, Ramon. The debt for nature swap, it goes much deeper than that, right? It goes much deeper than just borrowing $600 million from 3 banks. None of them, all of them which are overseas banks, by the way, right? Borrow that money to go and buy the high debt government to give them lower interest payments, right? For them to come and build, right, and build a tertiary level treatment plant to run a water reuse act in operation to give black water and grey water and domestic wastewater, non-potable water you cannot drink, to put it into people's clean groundwater aquifers, right? Not only that, borrowing money for the same problem, the money going missing, but the problem still exists, and you just swiping the ATM card. So every time you break and you want money, or the outfall want fixing, we gotta go and borrow more money. Swoop! Money disappear, outfall still problematic, right? So I don't necessarily trust this whole thing of this plan. We need to be guarded against this thing for potential corruption and for potential kickbacks and for people who are using these type of capital works projects to be siphoning off the money, and the people are not getting what's due to them. Now, I'm not saying that it is a good idea to build any plant to be cleaning shit out of water and give it to people, but in general, if you're gonna borrow money to be doing these things, at least you could be doing is transparent and do it right. But for something like this, I really don't trust this. I will never trust it based off the fact that I said earlier, Ramon, look at St. Lucie, look at all the other parishes experiencing the brown water and all this like St. George and St. John, those places you only getting water 3 days or to a week. And you expect us to believe that you would clean shit out of water so pretty. Right? And one of the same ministers said that they are going to clean this water so clean that after it's going to be cleaner than the current water that we get right now. I would never, ever, ever believe that. That's like rubbing the same excrement out of the water in your face like that. Somebody tell you La Project Kemar, enjoy it and love it is chocolate. If you buy what they're saying. But, you know. Right. So, let me show you guys why all of this is happening. Right? Let me show you guys why all of this is happening. Right? Let me show you guys why they want to sell our clean water to cruise ships. They want to privatize the Barbados Water Authority. They want to lock off all of the springs for themselves and cut access for the people for having that clean water to completely monetize water and to sell water because of the rigors of the IMF program. We have to monetize all of the resources that we get. So water is a big resource for Barbados. We have some of the cleanest water in the world. So we now have to monetize that to try to earn US dollars from that water to be able to repay the debts due to the IMF and the other organizations. So that's the sole reason. Now, in terms of monetizing water, Ramon, somebody asked the question earlier about bottled water sales. So obviously, when you hear these type of things, automatically people rush to go towards bottled water, right? No, bottled water in Barbados, right? People are buying water because of the quality of the water. So let me just show you what's happening here. Let me just show you what's happening here. So you can clearly see a headline here, Ramon, it says bottle it. Right? Bottle it. And you can see again the Prime Minister of Barbados. And it says here, time has come for the Barbados Water Authority to grab its share of the bottled water industry. The Prime Minister of Barbados declared, debating the Barbados Water Authority validation of water and sewage rates bill. The Prime Minister said that for too long, the SOE utility has ceded market share to persons who import bottled water. It says that I do not understand how the Barbados Water Authority could have survived this long and not seen it as its core business to put out commercial Barbados high-grade water. We allow other countries, Trinidad and the UK and France, and everybody to be exporting water into this country. And she added that the public buys these products willingly and in large numbers. And the Prime Minister argued that many of the bottled water products cost more than beer, and therefore the Water Authority must demand part of that market by putting out affordable, well-packaged, and attractive and clean water coming through the coral stone of this nation. Now, Ramon, if you put non-potable shit water in the aquifers, do you think that the water will be clean coming through the coral stone of this nation? Right? And the Prime Minister continued, this is water that is better for you because we don't know where the rest are coming from. And I also say to Barbadians that when the time comes and they buy a bottle produced by the Barbados Water Authority, it will help keep the profitability of the company in reach as compared to the significant losses that it had over the years. And as she pushed the idea of the Water Authority's entrance into the bottled water market, the Prime Minister claimed that Barbadians currently enjoy low water rates and called for a candid conversation on water prices. Right? I called for a candid conversation on water prices. Right, Ramon? No. It says here that the Prime Minister stressed that the government had no intention of encroaching on the domain of the FTC, the regulator solely responsible for setting water rates. And she said that in the meantime, steps must be taken to right the ship of the troubled financial entity. Right? Ramon, I need you to remember that particular line there, which says that we need to have a very candid, right, discussion on water rates in Barbados. Look, it's right here, right? A candid discussion on water rates. So we're going to discuss two things quickly because we are at 9:25, so no time is getting away. We're going to discuss this bottled water thing quick and this water price issue here, right? Now, the challenge that I have with that assertion by the Prime Minister of Barbados, right? The challenge that I have with that assertion, Ramon, by the Prime Minister of Barbados, right? Which called for a very candid discussion on water rates. This article was produced in 2019, correct? You can see that here, right?
Yeah.
That article was produced in 2019, and I'm gonna bring it back up again. I'm gonna bring it back up again, and I'm gonna repeat it like Dr. Umar as she pushed the idea of Barbados Water Authority's entrance into the bottled water market. The Prime Minister claimed that Barbados currently enjoy low water rates and called for a candid conversation on water prices. Now, this has nothing to do with the garbage and sewage tax. We're just talking about the price of water, right? No. Tell me here what you see, Ramon.
Read this of BWA privatization water rate increase.
All right. It says the Prime Minister of Barbados has categorically denied claims that the Barbados Water Authority will be privatized and that water rates will increase. And during a press conference at Ilaro Court to provide an update on several issues of national importance, the Prime Minister told reporters that allegations were made by people playing fast and loose to create fear among the population. First of all, I can slow it down and I'm going to repeat it 3 times. First of all, I want to say categorically that there has been no such discussion of raising water rates. Ramon, what did we read on the last slide?
We have to have a candid conversation about water rates.
Back here again, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Called for a candid conversation on water prices. Prime Minister of Barbados claimed that Barbadians currently enjoy low rates and called for a candid conversation on water prices. And that was 2019. So fast forward to 2023, right? Fast forward to 2023. First of all, I want to categorically say that there has been no such discussion on the raising of water rates, right? And she said, when you have this kind of speculation from persons who should know better, all you're doing, as we're seeing in the US of A and in the UK and the rest of the region, is a diminishing quality of our democracy. And the truth is, we have a strong democracy. And her comments were in direct response to Kemar, to the economist and former DLP candidate for the city, Kemar Stuart, posting a message on social media warning Barbadians of the need to focus on the privatization of the Barbados Water Authority and the raising of water rates. Right? So in 2019, there was this big call for discussion on water rates in Barbados. Fast forward to 2023, when I came out and told the people what was happening, all of a sudden, I want to categorically state that there has been no such discussion. You understand that? Huh?
So in 2019, she said there needs to be a conversation, right? A conversation must happen, right? Is there a possibility that the conversation never happened? That's the question I'm asking.
I highly doubt, because there has been broad discussion on the Barbados Water Authority as it being privatized under the IMF program. So you can't privatize the Barbados Water Authority without speaking about raising water rates, because water is the biggest revenue collector for water authority. So to get any financial stability, automatically you have to raise the price. The IMF has been in discussion with Barbados' government since 2007 about adjusting the price of water upward. So this has not been a new discussion, right? Dr. Kevin Greenwich has admitted openly in public that there has been deep discussion to privatize the Sanitation Service Authority, the Water Authority, and the Transport Board. Our Water Authority was set to be privatized since 2019. So this is rubbish, right? So let me finish the quote and let us get past this one and back to the bottled water. So she said, Prime Minister of Barbados, perhaps the time has come to put a blue tick, a fact check on every piece of information that is put out in this country. Hence, probably that's why the cybercrime bill is now there, because people are playing fast and loose. Taking a direct swipe at Kemar Stuart, the Prime Minister said, if you really want to be propelled to political growth, come and sit down and let me talk to you and tell you how to do it. But don't do it at the expense of Bajans. Right? Now, Ramon, in your opinion, right? In your opinion, um, there was open discussion on the raise in the water rates. So what changed between 2019 and now?
Well, again, the question I asked you initially, and you answered my question as well too, Kimar. The only, obviously rebuttal, the only, uh, escape there would be the fact that there was no conversation after she said that there needs to be a conversation. That's the only saving grace there. Other than that, there, Kimar, obviously, um, you know, the facts are there. The facts are there. The facts are there. Someone is backpedaling, or someone like words are not their words. You know,
Hmm.
for sure.
No, I like to bring proof. I don't just like to talk. Like, I probably put up this slide here about 50,000 times already. I put up this slide about 50,000, so I could put it up again just to reiterate this particular point here, right? This is to answer your question, Ramon. You see this headline: Sanitation, Water Authority, Transport Board earmarked for privatization. As the work plan, the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan advances, this is the IMF program, a shaker of SOEs will be undertaken, which will see a number of them being privatized. Restructuring of SOEs is expected to start in the next fiscal year, which could see a large number of public servants out of a job. Speaking at the Nation Talk Back Show, Dr. Kevin Greenidge said that the restructuring of operations of central government should result in significant savings for government. Dr. Greenidge explained so far that three SOEs have been considered for privatization: the Barbados Water Authority, the Sanitation Service Authority, and the Transport Board, adding that these will not be outrightly privatized, but rather will have some of its services owned and managed by private individuals and companies. Private individuals and companies chase after profit, not social good. Like, not social good. So if Kevin Greenidge is saying all of this, he can't just be saying this on his own, right? He just can't be saying it on his own. So to answer your question, Ramon, yes, there has been serious discussion about it. But as you know, when you bell the cat a little too early, these things happen. So you saw, based off the other article denying the sewage, I gave you the facts. They still denied it. We came and gave you the facts on water. They still denied it. Somebody bell the cat on the equal line. Although the facts were there, they still denied it. So maybe yes, if we get that blue tick on information, probably all the government ministers will shut up, because then you'll realize that they can't pass the blue tick because they tell almost no keep telling lies. Right? So yeah, over to you. Think it down with that one.
Boy, this was a very thorough topic tonight. Thorough topic tonight. Boy, let me tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of information as usual. Lots of information as usual, and it's good that you make statements and so forth. You can back up said statements, right? And your day words are your night words, and vice versa. Right? It's good to know that. A whole wealth of knowledge. I like your exuberance tonight for sure. These things are usually decent topics for you. These are your babies, so it was nice to have the conversation as per usual, right? For sure, learn a lot, man. Learn a lot for sure. But just real concerned, to be honest with you. And I think the viewers are to the level, the constant boring, and I think there needs to be more transparency with these things. And you mentioned a couple loans and so forth that there wasn't any conversation about them, and then a couple of bills that were passed, and some other bills that were passed, but loans approved in 2 days and so forth. And the Barbadian, we were able to have a conversation. That is discouraging. That is alarming. And we got to do better this year. We must do better this year. But again, we would have had a conversation, you and I just want to get obviously some of the comments from the viewers as well too.
Yeah. Well, before we jump in the comments quickly, because we just have 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
The bottled water issue. Could you give me a quick opinion on that before we get the viewers? You there, or are you sticking?
No, I'm here.
I want your opinion on the bottled water revelation.
In terms of the bottled water, is from the article. It's looking as though we're looking to sell our water based on what the article was saying, and that's what it got from the article. Kemar, I don't know if that you're going down the lines of looking to get some revenue streams from that based on the article. So I mean, it's always nice to have a stream of income, something coming in. But I think we got to deal with our water issues first before we look to bottle the water and send it abroad for revenue. We got to deal with our issues first, Kemar. Groundwater and 3 days. Households. People, as I said, I continue to say this in a bucket and with a cup. 3 to 7 days. So I think we should deal with our issues internally first. We should deal with our homes. We should deal with our people first, before we look to bottle it, I guess, and export. That's what I got from it. What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with the point that we import bottled water from all over the world, and we don't know how it's coming from. So, what I realize is that we have an emergence of some Belgian bottled water brands.
Yes, we do.
Right?
I saw one or two. It's called Belgian. I think it's called Belgian. I think it has a hibiscus leaf on it.
Belgian Pure.
Oh, sorry, Belgian Pure. Thanks, Belgian Pure. Yes,
Belgian Pure bottled water.
It has a hibiscus on it or something like that, some sort of flower.
Yes,
for sure.
Okay. So I agree. We do a lot importing. We have good quality water that we sold and exported, but not at the expense of Barbadians. I don't support putting shit in water for people to come through the pipe. So you're saying to me you're actually forcing people to buy water when you do that, right? So if people want to buy bottled water and drink it, fine. But I don't think you should be taking it upon yourself to be putting human urine and other stuff that you claim that you clean back in people's clean water to drink. I don't think that should be the way to go, because you're actually killing off and poisoning off the entire water system, and eventually it will be unusable. So
I would say, Kemar, what I would say is someone would need to see test results, Kemar. Test results. Some test results.
Care how much I do not care if you test that.
Right? Test results, right? Test results. And if you get for your test results, normal water coming from the normal sources, and then this water, and test the waters. Test the waters and see which one is pure. At least
I do not care how many times you test this water. I am not knowingly drinking it. Now they say knowingly because you probably could have drank some before and didn't know. Right? But I knowingly not going and drinking it, knowing that this water now come out of
Just came from that source. Just came
yeah,
from that source.
and in Barbados with these people we have managing this thing. No way, Jose. I don't even want to drink the water that much right now.
Yeah.
So
I can do some
imagine
more. I can do some more research in terms of bigger countries, right? Their water, what type of sources they would receive there, because there some of their water, you can't just go and drink water from the taps overseas like that. So that's the question.
right?
I guess you would have to actually have to ask as well too.
Yeah, well, most of Europe, particularly Netherlands, they focus heavily a lot on water use. So this legislation, when the Santia Bradshaw was Minister of Water Resources, she actually went to the Netherlands to get consultation on how to run the Barbados Water Authority. And this water use and some other pieces of legislation came from advice from countries in the EU and some other places. So this is a European concept, right? And this is not widely used in that many parts of the world, right? But in particular, Europe uses, and particularly Netherlands, has a very high rate for using these things. So, yeah, Ramon, time
So,
is up
so
on us.
I know what's going on, right? But
Hmm.
there was mention made of our coral stone and so forth in terms of the water and everything. So, isn't a way, obviously, I think desalination is a way, but as you said, it's fairly expensive. I got to see, obviously, the cost of running a desalination plant. And obviously, turning sewage water into drinkable water. I would like to see the comparisons in terms of the costs, really and truly, because I think desalination, you'll be a little bit more comfortable with desalination, right? I assume. There we go. So I would really love to see the comparative costs, to be honest with you, because you borrowed the $600 million. And if in a situation you could run a desalination plant or get another desalination plant, and as much desalination plants as possible, and use that money to deal with to run the desalination plants instead of this sewage the sewage to drinkable water. I think that would be something that you should look at.
Oh, anyway, buddy, we are over time,
Yes.
so we have to wrap up. So thank you very much, alternate viewers, for
Yeah,
tuning
man.
on. We had a very good discussion. We are about 270 persons, so thank you all for tuning in this evening to hear about that swap and many other issues associated with Barbados's water, this of course sewage plant, this tertiary level sewage plant, the sewage outfall, and the different things that are happening in the space. So thank you very much again, guys, for tuning in. This is Alternate Views. I am your host, Kemar Stuart. This evening's program was definitely sponsored by Lifelong Learning, endorsed by the Caribbean Progress Studies Institute. Alternate Views, the book, as usual, is the brainchild and the power behind the ideas that we push on this program. And I just want to thank you guys very much. And now I hand you over to my cricketing buddy, Ramon.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Yeah, man.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
playing a
for
game
sure. For
on
sure, man. Yeah, looking to do a thing. Right. No, another fantastic program. Heated. We had um, all types of views. Well, definitely shared different views this time a little bit. Um, but we were able to learn a lot. I learned a lot as usual. Right? Lifelong learning is sponsored. And we thank the viewers. And we love the viewers. And we love the comments. Keep your comments coming. We love the fact that you're taking time out of your very busy schedule to learn. To learn. To learn. And I look forward to this thing every single Thursday. I learned saying new every single Thursday night. Right. And the Wednesday too, because I do the research to come here for Thursday. So I learned the Wednesday, I learned the Thursday. Because Kemar always has something up his sleeve, a little trick up his sleeve. I said, you know what, man? I didn't know that there, Kemar, and he, creates an environment to learn. Right? Both viewer and obviously myself. I know everything. He ain't know everything either. But we doing some lifelong learning. Right?
Yeah.
So be thankful.
Yeah.
Bless and love to the viewers. And we will see you next week. God spares life. We out.
Yeah. So thank you, viewers, very much. Great for yeah. What Tamika, you have to hold on. We usually upload and tell you we do not give it out beforehand. Yeah, we do not give it out beforehand. So just look out for when we upload the stream. Make sure you like and subscribe to the program to ensure that when we do put it up, it will come directly to your phone. Yeah. So thank you very much again, Tamika, for tuning on, being very active in the comments. Dale, my good brother from St. John, thank you very much for tuning in. Dale is in another educational and informative show. Good night to all. Thank you very much. Tamika is saying she's impatient. Hey. Pedro Gemma, Sean Cole, Lemmy Hotel, Patrick Designs, Sir Alfred, saw him earlier. Sean Cole, Philip Rosette. Thank you very much for tuning in, Philip. Yes, I did warn people some time again and ago, but you know how it goes. We're still here fighting the good fight. So thank you very much. Good night to everybody else. Many that is in the comments. Don't forget to like, Camillus Lewis. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Mr. Angel, thank you very much. Oswald Newton, Romeo Hinkson, David Warren, Aisha Harding, Sam Igbo, this and that, Aaron Hunt. I like these names. I haven't seen the Imperator for a while, so I'm hoping the Imperator signs in at some point. Christopher Harris, John, thank you very much. The Anti-Corruption Unit, thank you very much for tuning in. And everybody else. We're up at 9:49, and we thank you very much for tuning in. Way over time, but nevertheless, we had a very excellent show, Ramon. And
We ain't gonna do these comments I think earlier. Man. We can go.
Yeah.
We can go do these comments earlier, bro. So we can get them in, and just acknowledge the viewers, right? In the middle of the show. We can go do that again. But you got to allocate a time to do it. Just stop and say, no, what? Then we do it. Yeah, bro. The viewers is important. So, yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, thank you guys very much. We are out of here.
Yeah.
As usual, tune on tomorrow to Marcy Week's program, 7 o'clock. And I will see you guys next week. So look out for when we upload the topic at that time. So good night and goodbye.
That's enough. Yeah, man.